ציר הרשע צריך את ציר פילדלפי. ומאותה סיבה, אנחנו חייבים לשלוט בציר פילדלפי.
6 Israeli hostages were confirmed dead by Tel Aviv, and their deaths triggered angry protests against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. As many as 500,000 Israelis took to the streets, blaming Netanyahu for stalling on a ceasefire deal which would have seen all 107 hostages released. Israel's war on Gaza is approaching its 1-year mark, and in that time Tel Aviv has killed an estimated 40,800 Palestinians in Gaza, according to the Destroyed Strip's health ministry, but other sources state that the real figure is significantly higher. Israel is facing genocide charges at the International Court of Justice. Over recent months, Hamas has said it is willing to accept a ceasefire deal with 2 main preconditions. Firstly, a ceasefire must be a permanent end to Israel's war on Gaza. Secondly, Israeli forces must withdraw from the besieged Strip. Netanyahu has refused to accept any such deal. He insists on securing access to the so-called Philadelphia Corridor. The Israeli PM says taking control of it will cut off oxygen to Hamas and is part of the goal of smashing the Palestinian faction. But what is the Philadelphia Corridor? The Philadelphia Corridor, also known as the Philadelphia Route, is a 8.7 miles or 14-kilometer stretch of land between Gaza and Egypt. The name was randomly picked by Tel Aviv as code for the Rafah border area. After the Egypt-Israel peace deal in 1979, it became a buffer zone between the 2 armies. The corridor split Rafah between Gaza and Egypt, which resulted in Palestinian families separated from one another. In 2014, Egypt announced plans to destroy parts of Rafah it controlled, and Human Rights Watch estimates 7,460 buildings had been destroyed by 2020. In 2005, Israel pulled its settlements and soldiers out of Gaza, and the Rafah border area, including the Philadelphia Corridor, was transferred to the Palestinian Authority. In 2007, after winning the election, Hamas took control of the Gaza Strip and gained access to the corridor. Israel imposed a total siege on Gaza, and goods and people moving through Rafah required Israel's approval. Israel alleges Hamas operates tunnels through which it smuggles goods, weapons and funds beneath the border. After Israel's war on Gaza began on the 7th of October 2023, Tel Aviv vowed to destroy Hamas, and in December 2023, Netanyahu said Israel would seize control of the Philadelphia Corridor again. However, taking control will prolong the war, make Hamas less willing to engage in peace negotiations, lead to more Palestinian deaths, as well as deaths of hostages, and spark tension with Egypt. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has said Egypt will not accept displaced Palestinians coming into Egypt, and said Israel taking the corridor was a violation of the peace agreement between the 2 countries and could force Egypt to defend its national security interests. Undeterred, Netanyahu insists on pressing on and taking the corridor.